Good evening, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, just finished watching the ROH Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view. Wow. This pay-per-view was solid from start to finish overall. And that includes the pre-show matches, the 0 hour matches. Whew. What a pay-per-view. Let's get into it. Let's get into these matches because I couldn't wait to talk about these. So, kicking off ROH Death Before Dishonor, the 0 hour pre-show, we had a singles match between Colt Cabana and one half of the Workhorseman, Anthony Henry. And I have to say, I was very excited about this match considering I've been very high on Anthony Henry ever since I first saw him wrestle and Evolve live. I've seen him wrestle with Evolve, DPW, PWX, as well as, AEW. And I know he was on NXT 205 Live as well. But definitely love Anthony Henry. I think he has a bright future. I think he's a great wrestler. And I thought this was a great test taking on Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana, longtime veteran, ROH favorite. And this match was solid. This was a solid match, back and forth. Anthony Henry really utilized a lot of offense, showcased really well. I know there was some interference here and there from JD Drake. But Anthony Henry looked really good in this match. And of course, Colt Cabana did his thing and stood strong. But I definitely enjoyed this first match. This was quite a solid match to kick off the pre-show. And Colt Cabana did get the victory, hitting a moonsault on Anthony Henry. Was able to get the 1, 2, 3. But it was an excellent match. Definitely an excellent match. Looking forward to seeing more from Anthony Henry. And I can't wait to see him on Sunday at NJPW Strong High Alert. Him and JD Drake will be wrestling. So definitely looking forward to seeing more of him. But it's really good to see Colt Cabana in our ROH ring once again. Gotta love it. Next up, we had a tag team match. We had the Trust Busters, made up of Slim J and Ari Daivari, taking on the Shinobi Shadow Squad of Cheeseburger and Eli Isom. And this match reminded me once again how flashy and how great Eli Isom is in the ring. I mean, he did all sorts of crazy offense. I was definitely digging it. And, Cheeseburger showcased very well. I mean, Cheeseburger was a head ROH trainer. So, definitely didn't disappoint. And I know they recently did a video package on Rampage for Ari Daivari. So it was good to see him wrestle here at Death Before Dishonor. And Slim J I first saw wrestle back at a PWX show. So I'm a little bit familiar with Slim J. But both teams look great. Both teams look really solid. I felt like they were both showcased very well. And of course, Cheeseburger, ROH fan favorite. So definitely got a lot of love in this match. But I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Ari got the pin after hitting a frog splash onto Eli Isom. So I was kind of shocked. Cheeseburger didn't get pinned. He actually didn't get pinned in this. I was very shocked. So, hey, something different, but hey, I dig it. We had a segment. Prince Nana made an appearance, and proclaim that he has purchased Tully Blanchard Enterprises, and it sounds like it's gone from that to now the Embassy. Who does this include? This includes Brian Cage, Gates of Agony, and he was also there for the World Championship match between Claudio Castagnoli and Jonathan Gresham as well. So, good to see Prince Nana again in Ring of Honor. I thought that was pretty neat. So I'm guessing Tully Blanchard's out. Like, I don't know what the deal is with that, because he was managing Gates of Agony, Brian Cage, but I guess something went down. Like, I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess something went down and just Tully Blanchard's not there now. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of an interesting turn of events. But yeah, very interesting. But yeah. And this ended up leading into the next match, which Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony, accompanied by Prince Nana, took on the team of Blake Christian, Alex Zane, and Tony Deppen. Now, I have to say, this was a very entertaining trios match, especially a team like Blake Christian, Tony Deppen, and Alex Zane. I thought was a very solid trio. I mean, they did all sorts of crazy stuff. Tony Deppen, I had seen him before back in Chikara, and also on ROH tapings as well. Blake Christian, served some time in NXT 205 Live, also in NJPW Strong as well. Blake Christian, he's been around. He's been around quite a bit. Alex Zane, I've seen him live in ROH. He's competed in NJPW Strong. He was just recently in the Best of Super Juniors tournament as well. So Alex Zane, really, really great wrestler. Definitely like him. But Brian Cage, Gates of Agony, definitely looked strong in this match. It was good to see Brian Cage again. I haven't seen a Brian Cage match in a while. So it was definitely good to see him in this match. And all six looked really great in this match. A lot of high flying. Tony Deppen was really funny in this match. And, just really seeing his demeanor, his facial expressions, totally loved. But, and then when Blake Christian got going, I mean, he looked solid. Really, really solid high flyer. I think Blake Christian definitely has a bright future and can potentially be one of the next best high flyers in the business. Keep an eye on him. Alex Zane as well. And I've seen Alex Zane ever since, like, Ring of Honor a couple of years ago. So, definitely a lot of these folks have great potential. Really, really great potential. And it definitely showed in this match. But when it was all said and done, Cage got the pin on Tony Deppen after pretty much a triple team on him. I mean, all three of the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage pretty much got in big moves. Brian Cage got the final one in as well as the pin to get the victory. But it was a great, solid trios match. And then we had the main event of the pre-show of 0 Hour, and the ladies were showcased in the main event. Allison K, AK-47, Pinkies Up, taking on Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale has been showcased quite a bit lately on AEW. And of course, Allison K, longtime veteran. I mean, whether it's Shimmer, whether it's Impact Wrestling, NWA, she was in the Mae Young Classic. Like, Allison K's wrestled all over the place. Like, it's crazy, but she's wrestled all over the place. She was tag team champion with Marty Bell, the Hex, is with NWA. So very well known. But yeah, these two ladies got to go at it, and they did not disappoint. They didn't disappoint at all. It was back and forth. Both ladies pretty similar in size, and just, I mean, traded move after move. The crowd was mainly behind Willow Nightingale, and I have to say, a lot of close calls, and it was just either of these ladies could have won. Either of these ladies. But it was a solid match from start to finish. Willow Nightingale got the victory after hitting a gut-wrench power bomb onto Allison Kay. I was kind of surprised. I kind of didn't expect Willow to win, but hey, I'll take it. And like I said, hopefully Willow Nightingale, I think she has a bright future as well. I'm just really happy, and it's just a blessing to see her being able to continue her pro wrestling career. I mean, she had the really bad neck and spine injury that took her out for a long time. So it was just a blessing to see her be able to bounce back and continue her pro wrestling career. And I can't wait until she gets a chance to finally go to Japan. There were some travel issues because she was supposed to compete at Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, but the visa situation, didn't come through in time. So hopefully that won't be an issue for next time, and she can go ahead and get that worked on. Because I would like to see how she does in Japan. I would love to see that. So congratulations to Willow Nightingale defeating Allison Kay, AK-47, in the main event of the pre-show. Let me tell you, that I'd have to say to this day, that was one of the, if not the best pre-show for a pay-per-view that I've ever seen. This was a solid Death Before Dishonor pre-show. 0 hour, this was solid. And I think the whole thing was on YouTube. And this was a solid. Even before it got to the main card. That's how you book a pre-show. Each match had great length. All competitors showcased well. That's how you book a pre-show. That was a solid pre-show. Now, let's get into the main card. Now, in a big, shocking turn of events, the main card kicked off with the ROH World Championship, where Jonathan Gresham, the Octopus, defended against Claudio Castagnoli. I was kind of surprised that they pulled the trigger on this being the first match of the main card. I did not see that coming. But what a way to kick off the main card. And these two definitely went at it. And it's quite an interesting matchup. Claudio Castagnoli with the height advantage, the power advantage. Of course, some say Jonathan Gresham probably has the technicality, speed advantage. But this was a very, very good clash of different statures between Claudio and Gresham. But it just goes to show that Gresham can wrestle with anybody. Size doesn't matter at all with Jonathan Gresham. He will work any opponent. And this was no different. Now, of course, Prince Nana was ringside for this. But I definitely enjoyed this match. This was back and forth, full of submissions. Claudio got the giant swing in rather early. A lot earlier than I expected. I was really surprised. Was really, really surprised. But it was just really great to see these two go back and forth, trading strikes, trading submissions. The chain wrestling was on point. It was great. It was really, really great. And sure enough, after a Ricola bomb, Claudio pins Jonathan Gresham, 1, 2, 3, and for the first time ever in his ROH career, because he is a ROH veteran, wins the ROH World Championship for the first time. And of course, William Regal was there to congratulate him, got a big celebration, and just, wow. My, how the tides have turned for Claudio Castagnoli. And the crazy thing is Vince McMahon never saw anything special with him. He didn't see anything special in Claudio, aka Cesaro. That's crazy. And ever since debuting in AEW, getting signed to AEW, and coming into ROH, I guess you could say returning to ROH, and now he's ROH World Champion and part of the Blackpool Combat Club. My, how the tides have changed in the career of Claudio Castagnoli. Amazing. Amazing. And he's been undefeated so far since coming to AEW. So, I tell you, that's a big win for Claudio. Big, big win. All right, next up we have the ROH 6-man Tag Team Championships, which this was really, really great to see. And it sounds like the last time these titles were defended, I believe, were Final Battle of last year. But it was really good to see these titles get love on Death Before Dishonor. So, the match. The champs, the Righteous, defended against Dalton Castle and the Boys. The only thing I didn't like about this was I like Dalton Castle's old theme music. I think it was Dalton Castle Wants It All. I miss that. With the guitar, I miss that theme. And, you know, he has a different theme now. I wasn't really digging it. But, Dalton Castle and the Boys back together. And then this match was really, really cool. The Righteous, Vincent, Bateman, Dutch, Vita Von Star was accompanying them. And this was a great, solid trios match. Definitely enjoyed it. It was really cool to see Dalton Castle throw each of the boys at each of their opponents' springboards, or not springboard, like suicide dive style. I thought that was really cool. It's like, you get a boy, you get a boy, you get a boy. It was so cool. It was really, really cool. But, and the Righteous, they did their thing as well. It was, if anything, it was just really good to see them back together and wrestle and see these trios titles get love again. Because I know a lot of people have been wondering, well, when are the ROH 6-man tag titles going to be defended again? And, you know, are they going to get any notoriety? Any, you know, because we hadn't seen that on AEW Dark or Dark Elevation or anything like that. So it was just really good to see these titles kind of sort of revived in a way with this match. And it was a good, solid match. Definitely enjoyed it. Dalton Castle gets the victory for his team after hitting Bateman with a bangarang. Gets the 1, 2, 3, and Dalton Castle and the Boys are now 2-time ROH World 6-man Tag Team Champions. So, was really good to see that again, and I hope that we'll see more trios action matches in ROH and really get to see these titles showcased more. But I'm sure once the ROH new streaming deal or TV deal comes through, I don't think that'll be a problem. So it's only a matter of time. We just got to be a little bit more patient, but it's only a matter of time. But this was a great match. All right. This next match was one of the 3 matches that was my favorite of the card. The ROH Pure Championship. That's right. Wheeler Yuda, the champion, defending against Red Death, Daniel Garcia. Wheeler Yuda, part of the Blackpool Combat Club. Daniel Garcia, part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. I thought they did a really great job building up this match. Really, really great job. And I have to tell you, I was really, really shocked that it wasn't until about, 14 minutes in before there was a rope break. Because remember, this match is under pure rules, being that it's for the ROH Pure Championship. This was contested under pure rules. But yeah, one rope break, and it didn't happen until about 14 or 15 minutes into the match. I was shocked. And Daniel Garcia was the one that got the rope break. But I mean, these two put on a technical wrestling clinic in this match. And these guys are young. These guys are still in their 20s. Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuda, they're young. They got a lot ahead of them. And they're pretty much working towards being in their prime. And they've been doing very well, especially in other indie promotions and just, being showcased in AEW. Wheeler Yuta's been in PWX. He's been in NJPW Strong. He's competed in the Best of Super Juniors. I'm hoping Daniel Garcia will be in the Best of Super Juniors next year. But Daniel Garcia's been on Terminus. Like, these two have been very busy. They stay busy. And it definitely showed in this match. I mean, a lot of chain wrestling, a lot of counters. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, we saw the Regal stretch. We saw the Walls of Jericho. Like, we saw the Bulldog choke that Jon Moxley uses. I mean, we saw all sorts of submissions. It was crazy. This is technical wrestling at its finest. At its finest. And I love this match from start to finish. This was on point. These two told an excellent story with all the build-up to this Pure Rules match. They executed. And when it was all said and done, Wheeler Yuta was able to lock in the seatbelt clutch for the 1, 2, 3. And Wheeler Yuta, still your ROH Pure Champion. It was excellent. Really, really excellent. And like I said, these two are stars. Future stars. For sure. Future stars. I love it. I love it. This next match was my second favorite. This was a match that really I was looking so forward to instantly when I announced it. And this was the brothers match. The Battle of the Brothers. Roosh, El Toro Blanco versus the younger brother Dragon Lee. And whoo-wee! These two destroyed each other. And it was so crazy. I mean, they pushed each other to the limits. And you know what? I'm sure they're probably used to that. I mean, they're brothers. Roosh, if I remember correctly, Roosh is 33, Dragon Lee is 27. So, a handful years of age difference. But man, these two put on a solid match. Now, of course, in the beginning, they shook hands and hugged. Good sign of sportsmanship. But man, these two were just back and forth, chops, high-flying moves. Dragon Lee did a suicide dive onto Roosh through a table. Dragon Lee even kicked out of a bullhorns. Like, that was crazy. And bullhorns, I feel like Roosh has the best running corner drop kick. Just the way he does it makes it look so devastating. So devastating. And, of course, it didn't take too long before Roosh was really showing that ruthless demeanor. Despite it being against his brother, they were playing for keeps, and it showed in this match. They were throwing everything at each other. I mean, there was even a moment where Roosh took a Hurricane Rana, or like a head scissors, onto the outside, and just, it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. The spots. Dragon Lee took a belly-to-belly off the apron onto the outside. I was like, dang. Like, these two were destroying each other. A lot of close pinfalls as well. Like, honestly, I mean, I figured Roosh was going to win, but the way this was booked and how this match was going, Dragon Lee came close. He came so close. But it took a second bull horns from Roosh to finally put away Dragon Lee and get the 1, 2, 3. And Roosh is the better brother that reigns supreme in this Battle of the Brothers singles match. But definitely one of my favorite matches on the card, hands down. And not to mention, it was announced that this coming Wednesday at Fight for the Fallen, Roosh will get an AEW Interim World Championship title shot against Jon Moxley. And I am so looking forward to that. I don't think Roosh and Mox have ever faced each other before. So I am so pumped for that. Because I'm a Roosh fan. I'm a Roosh fan, and just, whew, I can't wait. I can't wait. Because we got to remember, Roosh, for the longest time, had an undefeated record in ROH. And is a 2-time ROH World Champion. So, but gotta show mad love and respect for Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee, he was excellent in this match. Definitely excellent. Okay, we had the ROH Women's World Championship match where Mercedes Martinez defended against Serena Deeb. This was a great match as well, and I have to say the ladies got a good solid amount of time in this match. I was very pleased. They got a great amount of time, and we got to remember, Mercedes Martinez and Serena Deeb are indie legends. They spent a lot of their careers in the indies, and these are long-time veterans being showcased in Ring of Honor on Death Before Dishonor. Like, I think it was so cool. The Professor and the Latina Sensation going at it, showing off their craft many years in the business. These ladies tore it up. Definitely looked great. There was even a moment that Mercedes was going for the Romero Dragon Sleeper, and Serena Deeb ended up biting her arm. I was like, dang, that was savage. But Mercedes survived the Serenity Lock. Like, it was crazy. I mean, these ladies were just going back and forth with strikes, submissions. I mean, there was even a Dragon Sleeper on the turnbuckle. And just, these ladies went at it. They went at it. And like I said, I didn't think they would disappoint at all. But long fought battle, but Mercedes was able to submit Serena Deeb. That second Romero Dragon Sleeper attempt, she was able to lock it in. It took a while. She cranked it. And then Serena Deeb eventually tapped out. And Mercedes Martinez, the Latina sensation, still your ROH Women's World Champion. I was kind of shocked. I thought Serena Deeb was going to win, but hey, Mercedes stands tall. And you know what? These two have been kind of back and forth at each other, so I don't know if we'll see another matchup between these two awesome ladies, but they put on quite a clinic in this match. And of course, you know, they hugged, shook hands, and hugged at the end, so it was great. Really great, solid match. I'm just glad that they got plenty of time in this match. Very happy. Okay, we had the ROH World Television Championship on the line as Samoa Joe defended against Jay Lethal. Now, it took a while for this match to even officially start because Samoa Joe came down in the middle of Jay Lethal's entrance and pretty much they brawled early, and it was just a lot of action outside of the ring. Satnam Singh got involved as well before he eventually got ejected by the ref. So, Jay Lethal kind of, once the match started, had the advantage. Had worn down Samoa Joe for a little while, but this was definitely quite an epic match. These two told a great story in the ring. Sanjay Dutt tried to interfere. That didn't end up working out for him. Samoa Joe, he survived a lot. Kicked out of a lethal combination, kicked out of a lethal injection, kicked out of a title belt to the face. Like, it was crazy. It was really crazy. I'm surprised we didn't see a Hail to the King in this match from Jay Lethal. He usually does that pretty much almost every match he's in, but not this one. But yeah, it was just back and forth. Sanjay tried to interfere. That backfired. Samoa Joe wasn't able to get a muscle buster on Jay Lethal because, of course, he eventually reversed it and hit a lethal injection, but Samoa Joe kicked out. But was able to eventually lock in the coquina clutch. I think it took 2 attempts because Jay Lethal reversed the first one, but he was able to eventually lock him into a second one and made him submit. And Samoa Joe, despite the odds, retains the ROH World Television Championship. But it was a great match. Definitely a great match. Told an excellent story because there's been a lot of build up to this match between Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe. So this was really, really cool. And then we had the main event, which I'm going to tell you right now, mark it down, is a match of the year candidate. The main event was the ROH World Tag Team Championships, decided in a 2 out of 3 falls match. The champs, FTR, defending against the Briscoes. This is their second meeting together. And let me tell you, this match was crazy. Like, I don't think it wasn't until 25 or 30 minutes in before the first fall or something like that. It took forever for the first fall to even happen. That's how intense this match was. I mean, just back and forth. There was a moment where the doctor had to check on Dax Harwood, but thankfully he was able to continue. Dax got his chest opened up with all those chops. He was bleeding. Cash Wheeler was bleeding. Mark Briscoe was bleeding. Like, it was crazy. I mean, just intense back and forth. The Briscoes were definitely the heels in this match for sure. Definitely with their tactics and everything. But man, these two tag teams destroyed each other, gave it their all. So the Briscoes actually got the first pinfall after a Doomsday device onto Dax Harwood. Mark Briscoe got the pin, got the 1, 2, 3. The Briscoes got the first pinfall. Then it took a while, but eventually FTR would get the second pinfall after Dax pinned Jay Briscoe after Dax and Cash Wheeler hit a big rig on Jay Briscoe. And that's when FTR evened it up, 1-1. And at that time, match was about 40 minutes in. Yeah, it was about 40 minutes in at the time. And I tell you, we saw a lot of craziness. I mean, we saw a table get used. We saw a ring bell get used. the steel steps. Like, these two teams tore each other up. The referee got knocked down for a bit. I keep doing that. Jay Briscoe hit a J driller, but couldn't get a pin because the ref was down. We saw pile drivers. Saw Redneck Boogie. And it was just... these two teams were giving it everything. We even had like a segment where Dax and Jay Lethal just started boxing each other. They were just boxing each other. I was like, dang. I mean, that was quite a moment. And the crowd was so into this match. You could definitely tell the crowd was into this match. But the finish. Oh my God. The finish of this match was epic. Dax Harwood hit Jay Briscoe with an avalanche pile driver. I've never seen that before. Ever. Ever. And he hit an avalanche pile driver on Jay Briscoe. I keep doing that. Dax hit an avalanche pile driver on Jay Briscoe for the final pinfall. 1, 2, 3, and FTR. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler retain the ROH World Tag Team Championships. So they still currently now carry 3 titles. Those titles, the AAA Tag Team titles, as well as the IWGP Heavy Tag Team titles. But wow, what a main event. Definitely a match of the year candidate, for sure. For sure. Tag team wrestling at its finest. We had an interesting segment at the end. After the post-match promo from FTR, William Regal came down to the stage with Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. This was interesting. This was very interesting. I mean, is this going to lead to a match? Could FTR join the BCC, the Blackpool Combat Club? I don't know. I don't know what this will lead to. But it was an interesting end. It was an interesting ending. But this was a solid pay-per-view. ROH Death Before Dishonor 2022. This was a solid pay-per-view. And I really do not see how SummerSlam is going to top this. I don't see it. I don't see it topping this or coming close to topping this pay-per-view. When you had solid matches from start to finish, including the pre-show, that says something. And ROH Death Before Dishonor did not disappoint. This was a phenomenal pay-per-view. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Wowzers. I just can't wait to see how things develop once Tony Khan gets a ROH streaming deal or TV deal secured for the future, and really see how ROH does going forward. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. But that concludes just my thoughts on ROH Death Before Dishonor. What did y'all think? What did y'all think of the matches? What did y'all think of the card? What did you think of the outcomes? And just, did you enjoy it? Let me know what your thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can keep up with me. And thank you so much for watching. What a time to be a pro wrestling fan, indeed. But thank you for watching for another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.